Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. The stakes have been raised here in the wildcard round as it's time to win or get an early start on the offseason. It's the Panthers going up against the Packers. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
This place first opened way back in 1957. We are inside legendary Lambeau Field here in Green Bay. Tonight, it's the NFC's turn to take center stage as we've got a wild card matchup on tap between the Carolina Panthers and the Green Bay Packers. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. They go play action here on first down. Caught, left side, Bennett. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. And they'll run it here. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39. Here's the offensive unit coming out onto the field in just a moment. Randall Cobb, very good at wideout.
Went to college to be a quarterback. Discovered his talents couldn't be limited to one position. He's a 1,000-yard receiver every year for his quarterback.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. On second down, here's Rodgers. And he fires one that's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one better. Now a play fake here on first down. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll bring up second down. Kelvin Benjamin has to be a feature of this offense that's on your screen now.
Definitely a #1 receiver, a huge target with some speed. It's almost like go-go gadget when he goes up to get the football. No matter how you defend him, he can go just a little bit higher.
Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. Well, we saw the practice film this week. They wanted to focus on these intermediate passing plays, and it paid off there.
And they took that focus not just to the practice field, but in the film room to show the guys exactly what they wanted, what types of looks they should expect to get, and how they would beat those coverages each and every time, and it paid off on that play.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And let's get a look at the Green Bay defense.
Clay Matthews is an absolute force. Multiple Pro Bowls as an outside linebacker. He can swing.
To throw on second down is Newton. This will be caught inside the 10. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Just a gain of a yard, but it's going to set him up with a 1st and goal.
I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the 1st down.
As we say often, it shows confidence in your offensive line. He's got it for a Panther touchdown. Greg Olsen, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Panthers are going to take a first-quarter lead. And he's a reliable target. He's more than that, though. Hey, look, I'm not going to say he's the best tight end in the league, but he's solid.
Yeah, because he's able to block, and that's almost a lost art for a number of the tight ends in the league now because the most popular guys are almost what we call move tight ends, more like receivers. But those guys who can do it all, there's still a place for them in the NFL.
And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
The new acquisition, Martellus Bennett, the intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down. And the starting crew defensively for Carolina.
Luke Kuechly is absolutely amazing. Maybe the best middle linebacker in the game. Not only is he cerebral, this guy's athleticism is off the charts.
2nd down now after the incompletion. They'll come out in the pistol. Rodgers will try again on 2nd down. Looking deep downfield. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
So still a full 10 yards to go here for the offense on 3rd down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. Forced out to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep left side. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. On 4th down on is Dustin Colquitt to kick this away.
Well, they certainly didn't waste any time throwing some deep passes here. But the defense, it wasn't unexpected. They told their secondary, be ready. You're going to be tested all night by this team.
Pulled in at the 24. Very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Panthers will get it here as they take possession. Carolina getting set to take the field. Newton. He's going to rifle one deep left side. He rifles one that's intercepted. Then it's Clinton Dix with a pick.
Well, it's a cold night. And whether you're a quarterback that wears a glove on his throwing hand or not, that ball is a rock, Brandon. You've got to really drive it through the cold and the wind, or it can take off on you. And that may have been what happened there.
Play action, it's Rodgers. On the left side, it's complete. They'll get 23 yards there, and it'll be a Green Bay 1st down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And he's got 4 down inside the 20 to the 18. Tackle made by K'Wan Short.
Now that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
2nd down following the run. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Rodgers going to throw. This is Cobb with a catch right side. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Shift together here from the D-line. Oh, design run for their wideout. And a second effort gets him in. Touchdown, Packers. Their dangerous wide receiver. A 10-yard touchdown run. And the Packers are within an extra point of tying this thing up. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Carolina getting set to take the field. And last time, one-play interception, so this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Here's Newton. Hit as he throws there, incomplete. They were looking to get it to Kelvin Benjamin there. And now it's second down.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Newton now to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Back to throw, Newton. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested, and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Newton. And he fires one incomplete. Here on third. They come out 5 wide. 3 of them to the right side. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And he's into the clear. Green Bay touchdown. Now Crosby for the point after. And he atones for his miss the first time around as this one is up and good to extend their lead. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. They'll run it now out of the gun. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. To throw on second down is Newton. Caught on the left side by Benjamin. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. And partner, a nice little connection there on the corner route.
The receiver set it up perfectly, worked his way inside, and then broke it back to the outside for the completion.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers in possession of the football as we begin quarter. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They'll run it now out of the gun. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. See if they stay on the ground for second down. On second down, here's Newton. He's got time in the pocket, and he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
The good signal calls would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, fourth down. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. So it's a 7-play drive, but it stalls out in the end.
Let's credit the defensive front 7. They were a little leaky at the start of the drive, but they stiffened toward the end.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Now the Packers get set to go. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. No gain on the play there, second down. 3-4 defense, usually here you'll see the linebackers come up, make those plays, but the nose tackle also vital.
That was so vital because what you just pointed out, normally he eats up blockers that allows the linebackers to get to the ball carrier. In this case, he did his job and then some, and there was no gain at all for the runner.
Rodgers to throw on second down. This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield. Give him 3 on the play, and just like that, it's third down.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot, because we saw the catch there, right? He made it, but he's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back. And ready for 3rd and 6. 5 wides in the game, 4 of them to the right side. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. And he'll send this one into the cold Lambeau night. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they better make sure they load him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. So 2nd and 10 here. Back to the air. Newton on 2nd down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they get 10 yards there and convert on 3rd.
That's a pretty good throw on the curl route there. 3rd down, and they pick up a first.
Defense should be aware for that, right?
They should be aware, but it was so hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Because when they sell that route really well, you think they're going upfield, then they curl back, show their numbers to the quarterback, and complete the play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
A 1-yard gain could look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
Benjamin with it over the middle. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. On 1st and 10, Newton. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
That was a nice completion on an out route, and those types of plays are the result of arm strength by the quarterback and timing by the receiver.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Here's Newton toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Now Newton. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
Second and 10, Newton again. And Olsen over the middle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back with more NFC playoff action after this. They'll run it now out of the gun. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up first and goal.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
And the seemingly endless drive continues. They come out here in the eye. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
One of the toughest things for an offensive lineman to learn is the ability to get in space and hit people who are moving targets. And linebackers are not easy ones to hit because they know how to move, juke, and make you miss. And that's exactly what he did on that play. A nice play for the defense.
On second down, here's Newton. And that'll be caught. Panthers touchdown. It's Benjamin with a grab. Kelvin Benjamin, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Panthers are going to jump back in front. And that will make this a 4-point game. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not a particularly good return here as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
And almost intercepted. It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be second down.
The name of the game, as always on defense, put pressure on the quarterback. And that's exactly what they've done today. It looks like they've got him a little bit rattled. That would have been the second interception in the first half.
10 yards still left on second down. Back to the air on second down. It's Rodgers. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see, try to get it to Cobb, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. So quick on the spin.
He's spinning, man.
That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Now following the interception, here's Newton. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. It's a pickup of 14 there. And it'll be first down, Panthers. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Rolling to his right. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a first down.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They come out here in the I. Now a handoff here to his running back. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. And quite a bit of pizza in this box. It's a 53-yard attempt. And Gano's kick is right through. So we come upon halftime here in this NFC wildcard matchup as we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the 3rd quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
And that's a good sign right there as we start the 3rd quarter, because in the first half, not much space to run the football. And as we go into the half, we often think to ourselves, all right, what's the adjustment? What do they have to do? You know what a lot of the adjustments are? No adjustments. You know the game plan, been working on it all week. Maybe a little tweak here or there, a little bit better blocking, and now you're establishing the running game.
And that'll be incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
Man open left side is Brown. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
Now Newton on first down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. This is Young now, the fullback. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
I don't know about you, partner, but on 2nd and inches, a lot of the times I'm leery about the offensive guys thinking about taking a shot downtown. Instead, they just hand it to the big man and let him rumble forward for a first down.
And on the ground they go with a running back. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Stays on his feet, and he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
When you think of Mike Daniels, you think of strength. Hard to knock off the football, but surprising quickness and ability to move and evade people. How about that play there?
Well, he can squat 600 pounds, so that's how he caught people's attention coming into the league, and he caught our attention right there. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Newton now to throw. Caught on the left side by Benjamin. A big play that time, Newton to Benjamin. 42 yards.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
Play clock winding down. Back to throw. And he's got it. Touchdown, Panthers. Greg Olsen, a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Panthers add on to their lead. A post to the tight end for 6. Gosh, those guys are so tough to cover, aren't they? Just in general, tight ends running those patterns near the goal line.
Because you have to decide how you want to treat them. Are they a wide receiver? Are they a big extra blocker on the field? Or are they a hybrid and caught in between? So are you going to use a linebacker? Are you going to use a safety? Are you going to even move a corner in if you're going to play nickel or dime defense? They usually win those matchups because they have an answer for all 3 of those positions.
So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Second down now after the pass completion. Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
This is Cobb with a catch right side. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
And that is incomplete. He was trying to get it there to Vernon Davis, the tight end. And that brings up 4th down.
Very difficult night for the guys on offense. They've got to be looking at each other in the huddle and on the sidelines. How are we going to find some open space to complete a pass and find open room to run? This defense all night long has squeezed down the passing lanes, made plays on the football. It's really been a thing of beauty for them. He's got to figure all day long prepping for the game. They had to have talked about it again and again. Squeeze passing lane.
The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out from his outside linebacker spot, forcing the sack for a loss of 8. And a great spot to start this drive from here. So the D-line's going to spread out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing out second down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
And he will find his man on the outside. 15 yards through the air and a first down. Final minute now of the third quarter. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Mike Daniels makes the tackle.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Quick hitter here, it's complete. 8 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1. And he went in route there from the slot for the completion.
Love how he runs his routes because it's all setting up your defender. Give him a little something one way, take it the other way. Head and shoulder fake. Sometimes you make one step to the outside, then break it inside. Really well-run route.
And now the offense operates in the red zone. They come out here in the I. In motion left is Funchess. Now a handoff as they run left side. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
How many times do we hear from coaches, get north and south as a runner, especially in short yardage situations? I'd say 3rd and 1 counts. That didn't happen there.
Instead, they went backwards. And Gano's kick is right through. And that will extend their lead even further. And you figure with that, this game's pretty well out of reach.
It would take a heck of a comeback at this point. Being 3 scores down, I think that's too much to ask with time winding down here in the 4th.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't...
It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Packers. Their big-bodied receiver, 75 yards. And the Packers get a score closer.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. They find some open field here. And he finally runs out of gas, but not before he's inside the 10-yard line. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Time running out here on the play clock. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
It's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. He's got it for a Panther touchdown. Greg Olsen saving his best for the playoffs with his 3rd touchdown of the game. And the Panthers add on to their lead.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that. Truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, we'll see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Charles Johnson in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Throwing is Rodgers. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Here's Rodgers to throw. Flush to his right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Brandon, what we just saw there is something we hear from coaches throughout the league. How are you going to defend what they call the moment of truth ball, meaning a 50-50? The ball's in the air, defender's there, receiver's there. Who's going to make a play on the football? And in this case, the defensive guys actually got it done and knocked it away.
A good return there, call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. They'll come up now in the Wildcat package.
Here we go.
And he'll be out of bounds, able to take it down to the 40. Give him 16 on the pickup, and it'll be a Carolina first.
Well, I'd say that run's pretty emblematic of what we've seen all day long. No matter what they've done on offense, this offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage, given them time to throw it, run it, do whatever they wanted. That's why there are points up on the board. And right now, the psyche of the offense, we're in control, and we can do whatever we feel like doing out here on the field.
It'll be a pickup of 10 yards, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. So they complete the pass, and now they face a 2nd down. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish. Because strategy would tell you, run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Well, Carolina eating some clock on the ground there, and part of why they were the NFC champs last year, number 2 as a team in the running game.
They played their identity last year. Offensive line that can move people in the run game. Jonathan Stewart running it. Of course, big Cam Newton could be a short yardage guy. And remember, their head coach, Ron Rivera, a defensive guy. They love to run the football.
That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. And look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
So now it's 1st and goal. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is going to lose yardage here. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, let me pump out my chest a little bit. Even though I'm not rooting for either team, that was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
They'll fake the handoff. Now, and he's got it. Touchdown, Panthers. Greg Olsen, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Panthers are able to grow their lead. They had the lead in the 4th, but still passing. Finding the big target for the touchdown. Now that lead grows even more.
Everybody gets to join in the fun. You know, it doesn't have to just be the wide receivers catching touchdown passes. The tight end doesn't just have to do just the dirty work inside. He gets a chance to get into the end zone as well.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And last year, that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year, he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. And a long way to go for the offense here on 2nd down. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. Caught left side, Bennett. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down. They're going to hurry back to the line now.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one. Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield, and it is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Panthers are going to get it back in excellent field position. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. They come into enemy territory, and I don't care what the matchup is in the National Football League. You're up like this late in the game on the road. This feels pretty good.
Oh, it feels fantastic. Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's a big-time accomplishment, and to do it this convincingly, that just tears up the script that every home team has, which is nobody comes into our house and pushes us around. They took care of business today.
Yeah, they pushed around, and now the final stages of this one. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the 1st down marker, and now it's 3rd down. So they run it on 2nd down. Now let's see what 3rd down brings here for the offense. Newton on 3rd down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And that one good for 16 yards and a 1st.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the 1st down. And that's what he just did.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. In the red zone this time.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Lambeau, good night, everybody.